What's good? It's your boys Have Money. Today I'm gonna talk about esports. It's the future of digital sports. Now, when it comes down to e-gaming and and all that stuff, you see the Xbox behind me. You see the controllers right there. When it comes down to esports in general, man, when it really comes down to it, man, it's the future of traditional sports. You know what I'm saying? It's the future of real sports, man, because the reason why I say that is that, when it comes down to physical sports and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? When we start having chips in our body, especially having Neuralink in our brains and stuff like that, physical sports can mess that up. It can crush the chip in your body. It can crush the chip. It can destroy the Neuralink in your brain. It can do a lot of things. So in the future, it's definitely in the year 2030 is when we have chips in our body. The thing about it is that digital sports is going to be the future of our sports. You know what I'm saying? Even digital, traditional sports like digital basketball, football. You know what I'm saying? Those are going to be popular by the time 2030 comes. You know what I'm saying? So when it really comes down to it, we're going to have all types of chips in our bodies. And not only that, but at the same time, people going to start having cyborg body parts attached to their skin and stuff, and their legs and stuff. Like, for example, if someone lost their legs, they'll get robotic legs, and it will say, it will connect to their blood tissue or whatever you call it. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but what I'm really trying to say though is that when it comes down to traditional sports, esports is going to dominate that. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, sports is still going to be around. You still gonna have basketball. You still gonna have football. Don't get me wrong. You still gonna have those sports. I'm not saying those sports is going to die off. But when it comes to the big money maker and the big one and also the one that is universal as well, that is super universal, esports will be popular, way popular than basic in traditional sports by the time 2030 comes. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say though is that people in my generation and generation below me, we are interested in video game and live streaming video games and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So when it really comes down to it, esports is going to dominate once 2030 comes, because when it comes down to having chips in our body and stuff, you know what I'm saying? If we play physical sports and something happened to us and them chips now function and stuff like that, then we won't be able, to function right. I don't know. What I'm trying to say though is that's not the reason. This is a theory. I'm not saying that's the reason why the whole thing about it is it's dangerous playing physical sports. You know what I'm saying? You can have body problems. You can have health basically body part problems. You know what I'm saying? You broke your leg or arm or bust your head or even lose an eye and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you always going to have people that's going to be into traditional sports or just physical sports. But when it comes down to digital sports and electronic gaming, esports is going to dominate. You know what I'm saying? Because esports is universal, it's global. You know what I'm saying? Not, even though America is catching up to esports, but it's really big in South Korea. It's starting to become big in Japan. And surprisingly, it's kind of big in China. So the whole thing is esports are universal. And when it comes down to something that's universal, it's going to dominate in the next 10 years. Basically, when 2030 comes, that esports is going to dominate, and esports is going to be something that people are going to be interested in. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to physical sports, I don't think it's going to last. I don't think physical sports is going to be around that long. I mean, when it comes to the digital side of it, yeah, you're going to have people playing it. But when it come down to it, you know what I'm saying? When it really, really come down to it, esports is going to be the new form of sports. You know what I'm saying? Whole nine yards. Because here's the thing: there's going to be multiple pandemics popping up throughout this whole decade. I mean, I'm just saying, according to Bill Gates or whatever, there's going to be a multitude of stuff's going to happen throughout this whole decade. So what it means is that we might have to social distance for a while for maybe, but for me, for this whole decade, I really don't know. I'm just saying. But the thing about it is, esports is part of the new world order. Esports is part of the whole agenda of electronic. It's part of the agenda of everything going digital. Everything is going digital. Money, You know what I'm saying? Everything you can think of is going digital. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it really come down to. Everything's gonna be digitized. You know what I'm saying? I am gonna come out with another video talking about that. But when it comes down to esports is the future of digital sports. You know what I'm saying? Whole 9 yards. And esports is global and universal. Anybody can be part of esports. Anybody can represent esports. Doesn't matter what your height is, doesn't matter what your race is. And that's one thing about esports. It's not racist. You can't be racist when you're in esports, man. You know what I'm saying? Let technology bring people together. Don't supposed to divide us, it's supposed to bring us together. You know what I'm saying? That's what technology does. And then technology is going to dominate once by the time 2050 comes. You know what I'm saying? And also when 2050 comes, you'll be able to live in a virtual world when it comes down to the end of your life. According to the research I found, that you'll be able to live in a virtual world by the year 2050 comes. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, yeah. That's why I'm finna create religions for the video game industry. Not just one, but multitude of religions for the video game industry and the community. You feel what I'm saying? So when it really comes down to it, you know, I'm really am gonna really focus on creating these religions for the video game industry and also, you know, bringing esports and e-gaming into the picture. You know what I'm saying? Whole 9 yards. Because video games make more money than music and movies combined. And that's what it really comes down to. You know what I'm saying? So when it really comes down to it, man, esports is universal and it's global. That's why they're finna add it to the Olympics. That's why they're finna do it big with the esports thing. And the thing about what I'm finna do is bring esports into high schools here in the Bay Area, Northern California. You know, bring esports into the Caribbean, bring esports to Africa. You know, bring this digital form of sports, you know, all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Get everybody in the world involved. Because once we have these satellites in our orbit, and 5G and 6G and all these other G satellites in our orbit, we're going to have strong and powerful internet access, and we will be able to stream video games and also be part of esports and tournaments and stuff like that, man. And that's what I'm trying to focus on, man. That's my mission, and that's what I was put on this earth for. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what it really comes down to. So I really am going to focus on promoting esports. You know, really support esports, man. That's what I'm really about. Not just esports in particular, but creating a religion for the video game community in general. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really comes down to. This is all I want to say. This is all I want to put out there. And this is all I want to put out there. So this is all I gotta say. And this is all I want to say. You know what I'm saying? So this is your boy Tab, man. I'm finna sign off. And like I said, man. Like I said, physical sports is in a decline, but esports is on a rise. And that's all I gotta say, so peace.